Hi everybody, this is Current Events. Today we're reading the Decorah Public Opinion from Thursday, December 3rd, as well as the Driftless Journal from Tuesday, December 1st. Let's get started. On the front page of the Driftless Journal, two articles. First is Once in a Lifetime Learning Opportunity. Waukon University of Iowa students serve as contact tracers. And here are their photos. Okay. And it says, Madison Snitker and Callie Faring. Real-life job training during a pandemic. That's the current reality for Waukon natives Callie Faring and Madison Snitker. As students at the University of Iowa, both are working as COVID-19 tracers for Johnson County Public Health in Iowa City. While the experience has been challenging, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for two students who are pursuing careers in public health. Faring is the daughter of Mike and Linda Faring, while Snitker is the daughter of Mike and Lisa Snitker. What is a contact tracer? As a part of Johnson County's response to the rapid spread of the novel coronavirus, contact tracers follow up with anyone who has received a positive test result. COVID-19 positive patients are asked to fill out a short survey about their case. Once the survey is returned to the public health office, a member of the disease investigation team begins the tracing process. The goals include determining who has been exposed to the virus. Anyone who is identified as a contact of the positive patient is notified by public health and given advice on how to quarantine, get tested, and let's see. And I don't know what page this is on. Page 8. Excuse me. Okay. And what symptoms to look for. Contact tracing is useful for breaking the chain of infection, so when an exposed person becomes infectious, they haven't just been at home and haven't exposed anyone. We have found education about COVID-19 and what to do when you have been exposed an incredibly useful tool for slowing potential spread in communities. All right, that's good. And then we also have an article called Lion Pride, Innovation Keeps Spring Grove Students in the Classroom. And it says, like others across the nation, Spring Grove Public Schools was determined to make this fall's first day of classes feel as normal as possible. What transpired in this small, tightly knit community last summer involved teachers becoming students, as district leaders pieced their plan together for pandemic learning. In Minnesota, we had to put together plans for face-to-face learning as if everything was normal, said Superintendent Rachel Utstuen. We also had to put together a plan for hybrid learning. Our team decided to go ahead with a hybrid learning plan so that if we had to switch from in-person learning to an online model, it would still feel normal. Utstuen said they started by reducing elementary class sizes to approximately 15 students, with most high school classes no larger than 13. Besides reduced risk of disease transmission, small classes offered increased engagement. Another side effect of classes, this continues on page 17. Let's see. Classes as students is that teachers can establish closer relationships with students that they might not be able to in a regular classroom. We know that relationships with our students are key to their success, and I think those relationships have helped our students get on board with our determination to be in person as long as possible. Well, good for them in Spring Grove. It's been a challenge for everyone. All right, let's go on to the next page. Good Times and Minnesota churches provide 281 Thanksgiving meals. Thanksgiving 2020 was anything but ordinary for most, and yet for some Houston County residents, the holiday was actually pretty extraordinary. Good Times Restaurant and Bar in Caledonia partnered with volunteers from Trinity Lutheran Church in Spring Grove, Caledonia Methodist Church of Caledonia, Wilmington Lutheran Church, Spring Grove, and Houston County Public Health and Social Services to provide Thanksgiving meals to 281 county residents in need. That's awesome. Here's some great news if you live in Decorah and like to go down Locust Road. Locust Road is open! Woo-hoo! A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held. And there's the mayor with her scissor, wearing her mask. Good deal. It's been a while, and now it's done, and I have to say, I did drive it the other day, and it was nice. And it's still pretty, I think. They were concerned it might not be as pretty, but I think it's still pretty nice. All right. Let's see. Nothing majorly major on that page. I think we're going to skip that too. All right. A sing-along. I think we'll skip the sing-along, but trout over turkey. Teresa Klimish Humphrey of Postville was spotted fishing and enjoying a rare upper 60s temps day recently. This year, a turkey is just too big for two people, so I decided to go out and catch us some fresh trout for our Thanksgiving dinner instead, she said. Klimish Humphrey was photographed on the upper Iowa River on the edge of Decorah. Check it out. Wearing her face mask so the fish don't get COVID. All right. Sorry about that. Let's see. We've got echoes of the past. 100 years ago, farmland is at $219 per acre. Farmland in these parts is now at the highest in this section of the country, according to the yearbook of the Department of Agriculture. The average value per acre of plowland here in Iowa is $219 per acre. Nebraska values are holding steady at $90 per acre. New York land is going for $64 per acre. Wow. A hunter in northeast Iowa was attacked by thousands of crows the other day. What? The hunter reportedly wounded or killed hundreds of the angry birds in 3 hours of constant fighting using about 200 shotgun shells. Arrival of darkness gave him an opportunity to make his escape. That sounds worse than an Alfred Hitchcock movie. Holy moly. The big annual Elks Memorial Service in honor of 40 departed brothers is expected next Sunday, December 5th, 1920, with Honorable Sherman T. Mears speaking. Decorah High's football team has suffered its first defeat for the first time this season when they met the strong Cresco team last week on the home field. Closing was 20-7. Glesney, who appeared in uniform for the first time after a 2-week illness, played a strong game, assisted ably by Thomas and Olson. The overseer of the poor in Decorah is boasting a new salary of $75 per year. The county physician has a salary of $180 per annum. Whoa. Neolin half-soles are available from H.E. McLean at Star Vulcanizing Works on West Water Street. The half-soles cost less than leather and are guaranteed waterproof. Put them on shoes, boots, and overshoes. Okay. New insurance prices have hit the newspaper. Insure your Ford car for 1 year from fire, lightning, wind, tornado, accident, and theft for just $8.95 per year. I don't know, it seems kind of steep if the new salary for the overseer of the poor is $75 a year. Probably doesn't have a car. News from the Round Table area west of town. Frank Wagner was an afternoon caller at the Elmer Bergen home. Andrew Bowe assisted with corn shredding at Pete Nesty's farm last Friday. Country School Number 4, which has been closed for 3 weeks on account of the teacher's illness, has reopened again. Let's see. The Superior Sanitary Bakery in the Daubney building is managed by Thomas McKeague. Stop by for the best cookies in town. Superior Sanitary Bakery. That sounds like the place to go. All right. 1930, 90 years ago, the sale of the first 1931 auto license plates started on schedule here at the Courthouse Treasurer's Office December 1st, and during the day, several hundred licenses were issued. 3 determined gentlemen, all residents of Decorah, started an early morning vigil similar to the baseball fans waiting to get into the World Series baseball games. They gained entrance to the courthouse and stood face to door when the treasurer threw open the doors for the expected rush. Mark D. Wells, manager of the Decorah Gas Company, copped number 1 plate for his Hudson car for 1931. The second gentleman to get up to the window was Dr. Otto Svebakken, who secured the number 2 license plate. A young Decorah banker, William Ronan of Decorah State Bank, came for number 3 position. Both of the latter gentlemen drive Nash automobiles. Now showing at the Grand Theater, Maurice Chevalier and Playboy in Paris. Admission is 10 cents and 35 cents. Wonder what the difference is. Stop me and let me know if you know that answer. The agent for Winneshiek County Farm Bureau will be in town to help solve the problems of many of our rural homemakers. A meeting will be at the Bloomfield and Military Townships from 10 o'clock in the morning till 4 p.m. Housewives attending these gatherings should bring a pair of overalls with holes and material to patch it with. Also bring a wool garment that needs mending and a piece of wool to match. All right. Miss Josephine Drew of this area, who holds a stenographic position in Dubuque, had Thanksgiving with her parents, Mr. and Mrs. John Drew, before returning to Dubuque. Whoa. Okay. A.R. Coffeen has that modern new installation called JM Insulation, which can be blown into the walls of any type of house. Brick, stucco, wood siding, or shingle siding. Special equipment is used to blow the ingenious wool made from melted rock right into the walls of your roof and your house. It is almost 4 inches thick. This is indeed a very ingenious new method of insulation, sure to please any homemaker. Graham's Toyland has opened for the season. Eskimo, Negro, and baby dolls are 25 cents. The famous Daisy dolls are 98 cents. Popular strut toys are on sale for 98 cents. The new airmail game and jungle race priced at 98 cents. Sewing sets for girls are 25 cents. And Boys Airway series toys are 35 cents. That is pretty cheap, but not if you're making $75 a year. Then that's pretty steep. I think that was it for that paper. I do think we have an obituary to read, so I'm going to get to that one if it's in here. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Keeping on looking. Okay. Yes. Gladys Wepler. Gladys Wepler, 97, of Decorah, died Sunday, November 29th at the Gunderson Lutheran Medical Center in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Visitation is Friday, December 4th from 1 to 4 p.m. at Fellstill Funeral Home in Decorah. Masks are required to attend. Gladys Wilma Reichert Wepler was born June 13th, 1923, in Elkader, Iowa, to George and Sophia Maria Johannes Passel Rickert. She attended country school in Elkader. The family moved to Decorah and she graduated from Decorah High School in 1941. Gladys worked at Collins, Turner and Company in Cedar Rapids, then moved to Boston, Massachusetts, and worked at the defense plant. She met Walter Wepler from Decorah as he was serving in the U.S. Navy in Boston. Gladys was united in marriage to Walter on August 26, 1943 in Boston. They had 4 sons, Dennis, David, Roger, and Wesley. They moved back to Decorah in 1945 when Walter was discharged from the Navy. Walter worked with his father at Wepler Locker in Decorah. They raised their 4 boys and Gladys worked at the locker for several years. Later, she worked at Decorah Community Schools in janitorial services. Gladys belonged to the Congregational United Church of Christ and was active in Petra Circle. Gladys accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as her personal Savior. She loved lemon meringue pie and made the best salads, loved recipes. A family favorite is Grandma Gladys's eggs, and her especially spending time with her family. She moved to Asahaugen on December 2nd, 2016. All right. We will definitely miss Gladys. She was a very fun person to get to know. All right. We move on to the rest of the Decorah public opinion. We've got Christmas around Calmer. The city of Calmer will host Christmas around Calmer December 3rd. Check it out. They've got some giant inflatable stuff, but I think we might have more here at Asahaugen. Let's see. County to receive COVID-19 vaccine by mid-December. That's good news. It may be the best early Christmas present ever. According to Winneshiek County Health Director Krista Vandenbrink, preliminary doses of a vaccine to combat COVID-19 will arrive in Winneshiek County within 2 weeks. The 2 versions of the vaccine will be available. Some of the vaccine by Pfizer, who developed the ultra-cold storage version, will arrive in Iowa. Moderna's vaccine does not require ultra-cold, and that will make it here too. Vandenbrink noted that the vaccine will be distributed according to a priority list devised by the CDC and the FDA. Those agencies will clarify the priority list for the Iowa Department of Public. Oopsies. Page 8. Iowa Department of Public Health, and will follow those guidelines. Healthcare workers, as well as staff and residents at long-term care facilities like Asahaugen, are expected to top that list. Yay! All right. That's great news for us. Christmas at Luther is going to be tonight at 7:30, and it'll be on your TV here. So be on the lookout for Christmas at Luther. They can't have it in person this year, so they recorded it in October in street clothes, and anybody who wants to watch it can from their house if they have a device that permits them. But we're going to have it right here at Asahaugen at 7:30 tonight. Okay. Second individual rams sheriff's office vehicle. For the second time in less than 2 months, a squad car driven by Winneshiek County Sheriff's deputy has been intentionally rammed by a suspect. That's kind of unusual. I've been in the department for almost 20 years and never had someone purposefully run into a squad car. Now we've had 2 in just a few weeks. That's really crazy. Okay. What else have we got? The holiday fireworks are scheduled for Thursday, December 3rd at 6:30, so lock up your dogs if you don't want them to escape into the cold. All right. Let's go down to the religion section, And we have a column by Doug Bryce from the Christian Life Center. This is a picture of Doug. And he says, unshakable. The biblical writer of Hebrews speaks of a time when everything will be shaken. Things not only on earth, but also the heavens. God says he is calling forth his remnant of true believers to rest with him in the middle of the storm. As Jesus was sleeping in the back of the boat, his followers were in fear, confusion, and hopelessness. They failed to see him and know that despite everything going on around them, they should not fear. As a true Jesus follower, there must be a day in your life when you will find the strength of the Lord Jesus Christ and adapt his strength into your own life. God is calling forth a people whose main hope is in him. While the systems of this world are being shaken and many people within those systems are being shaken, you will be surprised that God and those who trust in him will not be shaken. Psalm 125 verses 1 to 2. Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken but endures forever. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people both now and forevermore. Those who know the Lord in deep and personal ways are able to trust him in trusting him. There is great peace and joy that dwells deeply in our souls. Jesus Christ is calling everyone who reads this to a cross like his, a cross where he came not to do his own will, but the will of the one who sent him, a cross of dying to self and self-will, a death and life that draws its vitality from God himself, bringing the joy of being unshakable. Through this surrender to God, a person dies and then finds new life through the person of Jesus. Even many Christ followers today are being shaken. It is not enough to be in the boat with Jesus. When the seas of life are being shaken, you must know who he is and be in close communion to surrender to him. Too many believers are in the church boat but still have no confidence in Jesus. Stop, look at Jesus. Is he your everything, your great hope, your greatest joy? He is more than enough for everything you need. He is greater than political strife, greater than a virus. In fact, he's greater than death. He has triumphed over death. As true believers, put your hope in this great Jesus and live unshakable. And if you are not a true believer in Jesus yet, call out to him and reveal himself, and when he does, surrender your life to him. He is Lord of all. Pick up a Bible and read the Gospel of John and find Jesus. That's your message from Doug Bryce from the Christian Life Center. All right. Let's see. Go over to Echoes of the Past. King Winter descends onto area 1940, 80 years ago. Apparently determined to make up for lost time, the late King Winter descended onto Decorah with a vengeance last week. With local temperatures in the high 50s Monday morning, but mid-afternoon the temps plummeted to full 30 degrees and continued to sink throughout the night, halting a few degrees above zero on Tuesday morning. Yuck! Radio newspaper reports estimated 100 people in the Midwest died as a result of the cold snap, either directly or indirectly. The abrupt change in temperature was accompanied by snow and howling winds, which added to much human discomfort. That's really sad. But here's an interesting story. A huge potato with several small knobs of potatoes growing on it has been sent to J.N. Gossman of this area from his sister in Kashmir, Washington. It is similar to the freak potato, which was featured in the newspaper office a few weeks ago. The potato looks more like a cactus than a potato. Gossmans are showing off the potato, and Mrs. Gossman also is bragging of the lettuce he served on his table from his garden in early November. I can relate to that. I was so sad to dig that under the middle of November. All right. The silver wedding anniversary of Mr. and Mrs. J.A. Woodhouse of near Decorah was observed by the new 4-H community building at the fairgrounds recently. Before her marriage, Mrs. Woodhouse was Miss Mary Drew. Mrs. Edward Girac, who lives about 2 miles northwest of Jackson Junction, has a nice patch of ever-bearing raspberries, and she's been picking from 25 to 30 quarts of fruit each week during the past few months. 1950, 70 years ago. Arrangements for the 2-week 1951 tour of the Luther College Cathedral Choir are being finalized. They will travel to South Dakota, North Dakota, and concerts in Iowa. 1960, 60 years ago, Luther College marched over Upper Iowa in a big game here Saturday to share the conference crown with Parsons College. Wenatchee County voters marched to the polls recently in what was unofficially determined to be the largest vote in the county's history. Estimated total votes for this general election, 10,435. Wow. Let's see. 1980, 40 years ago, the County Department of Social Services seeks a new home to alleviate cramped quarters in the office. Director Virginia Ladle appealed to the county supervisors for permission to leave the first floor of the courthouse and occupy part of a proposed new building being constructed in the southwest part of Decorah. 1990, 30 years ago, the Decorah School Board administrators and faculty have agreed more time is needed to study a 10-minute news program geared for teens before bringing the program into the classroom. Channel 1 is a big topic of discussion for school board members. Teachers are concerned about the commercials which appear in every program. More assessment is needed before the school tries out the channel on a trial basis. Okay. The Jewell family, the county's only major turkey producer, raises about 60,000 of the birds each year. The turkeys are marketed at about 15 pounds. The Jewells have been selling turkeys for more than 30 years. Wow, that would be like a great story problem of how much money all of their turkeys would bring in if we knew how much per pound the turkey was selling for in 1990. Okay, let's see. 2020 years ago, there is still no decision on the case involving the Decorah City Council and a proposed Walmart Supercenter in the Upper Iowa River floodplain on Decorah's east side. Well, I think we know how that went. Let's see. 2010, 10 years ago, a crew from Iowa Public Television shot a segment on Decorah's bike trails for an upcoming series called Iowa's Simple Pleasures. And People for the Animal Welfare Society in this area has a new name, the Humane Society of Northeast Iowa. Well, I don't know. I think I liked the other one better, People for Animal Welfare, because it was PAW, PAW. But then they changed it to HSNI. Well, I don't know. That's going to be it for current events today. Thanks so much for joining. We'll have another current events next weekend.